Hello friends, welcome to the One Night Study channel. Today we are going to discuss about the resistance welding, and in this video we will discuss about the different types of the resistance welding and full explanation of the each type of the resistance welding. In the previous videos we have discussed about the electric arc welding, and in the its important types of the electric arc welding like TIG, MIG and the shielded metal arc welding. Okay, so let's discuss about the resistance welding. So basically resistance welding process are the pressure welding process in which heavy current is passed through the area of interface of metals to be joined. Okay, so in the electric arc welding we use just a high current to produce the heat. Okay, we don't use in the electric arc welding pressure, but in this resistance welding process the pressure is very important to weld the metal. Okay, so this by the using of the pressure we produce heat, and the heat which is produced to weld the metal is given by the H equals to I square RT. Okay, so this is the expression for getting the heat which is produced by the resistance welding. Okay, here the I is current in amperes. Okay, R is resistance of welded area. Okay, and T is the time for the flow of current. Time for flow of current. Okay, sometimes it is asked in the interview exams and the semester exams as well, that what is the expression of the getting heat which is produced by the resistance welding. Okay, so now we will discuss that how much the current is provided and what is the voltage provided to the resistance welding. Okay, so in the resistance welding the current is provided for few kilowatts. Okay, for kilo ampere. Okay, and the voltage ranges from the 2 to 12 watts. Voltage ranges from 2 to 12 volts. Okay, and force is normally applied before and during the after the flow of current to avoid acting between the surface and to force the weld metal during post heating. Okay, and the necessary pressure that vary, which is from pressure is varied from 30 to 60 Newton per mm square. Okay, now we will discuss about the most or major types of the resistance welding. Major types of resistance welding. So there are basically four major types of the resistance welding. The first one is the spot welding. We will discuss all the major types of the resistance welding in the next slides. Okay, projection welding, seam welding, and the butt joint welding. Now first of all we will discuss about the spot welding. So let's discuss the first type of the resistance welding process, which is also known as spot welding. Okay, so this is the whole setup, or what we can say that this is the construction of the spot welding process. Okay, and we will discuss one by one each part of the spot welding. Okay, so in this setup, this one is our transformer step up transformer. Okay, as I have told in the first video of my electric arc welding that we can use both AC and DC. Okay, so for using AC we use the step up transformer. Okay, and this is our AC current. Okay, and this one is our fixed arm. In the spot welding we use two arms. Okay, and this one and this one. Okay, this arm is fixed and this is the movable arm. Okay, and this is our base metal. Okay, and this one is our frame. Okay, so and this one is our frame, and pressure is applied to downward in this way. Okay, so this is our whole, all parts of the spot welding. Okay, and now we will discuss about some key points and the advantages and disadvantages of the spot welding. So in the spot welding we use the between current between 1000 to 5000 amperes. Yes, it is used between 1000 to 5000 ampere, and it is depend on the thickness of the our base metal. Okay, and the voltage, it varies from 2 to 12 volts. Okay, and now we will discuss its a working principle of the spot welding. Okay, so in this welding process, first of all the current, which is a highly voltage current. Okay, it is provided by the this transformer is and AC current is converted by this step up transformer. Okay, and then this current is flowing through these wires. Okay, and these are our electrodes. Okay, okay, and the pressure is applied to the welded area. Okay, and why it is called spot welding? Because the welding is happening in the spot form. Okay, so suppose if you want to weld the material from this zone. Okay, so in this particular zone pressure is applied in the spot form, and then the current is also is providing here, which produces heat. So that's why in this way our spot welding weld the parent material. Now we will discuss about the advantages and the disadvantages of the spot welding. Okay, so the first one advantage of the spot welding is that it has low initial cost. Okay, high productivity. Okay, a less skilled worker can also operate this welding. Okay, so less skilled worker are required. Okay, and the operation can be made fully automatic or semi automatic. Semi automatic or fully automatic. Okay, and the disadvantages of the spot welding is that high thickness cannot be welded by this welding process. Disadvantage that high thickness cannot be welded. Okay, and skilled worker sometimes here skilled workers are required for maintenance purpose. Okay, so maintenance cost is also high. Maintenance cost is high. Okay, so this was our whole spot welding process. Now we will discuss about the projection welding. Okay, this is our setup for the projection welding, and the important parts of the projection welding is as follows: that this is our these are the our electrodes. Okay, which is flat electrode. Okay, and these are the welding plates. Welding plates. Okay, and in this red dotted form, this is our weld formation. Weld formation. Okay, and this is our projection. Okay, so basically it is a modified form of spot welding. Okay, so our projection welding, it is the modified form of the spot welding. Okay, so in this process, one of the pieces to be welded by this method has projection produced by the pressure. The electrodes used in this projection welding are flat. Here we use the flat electrodes. Okay, and the electrodes are placed on the workpiece. We can see that electrodes are placed on the workpiece. Okay, both electrodes are placed on the workpiece, and current passed between them. Current is passing between these two electrodes. Heat is produced at the contacts. Okay, and workpiece gets welded at this point. Okay, so it is easy to weld certain jobs which cannot be welded by the spot welding. When two plates to be welded are of different cross section, then in order to obtain high strength, it is necessary to have the projection on the thicker plate. So this is very useful for welding the different cross section. Useful for welding high strength for having different cross section materials. Okay. Now we will discuss about its advantages and the disadvantages. So, advantages of the projection welding. Okay. So, the first one is that more than one spot can be welded at one time. Okay. So, we can say that this is less time consuming. Okay. Proper head balance can be obtained easily, so we can say that clear welding process. Okay. Welds can be placed closer than spot welding, so comparatively good weld quality. Electrode life is much longer. Okay. And the disadvantages of the projection welding are metals which cannot support projection cannot be welded satisfactorily, so suitable for only having projection metal. Okay. To make projection is an extra operation, it is obvious, and the initial cost of equipment required for projection welding is high. So initial cost is okay. So this was our whole projection welding. Now we will discuss about the seam welding. This is the setup of the seam welding, and here in this setup this is our AC supply. Okay. And this is lower electrode wheel. This is our upper electrode wheel. Okay. And this is our welded metal sheets. Welded metal sheets. And here this is our sliding contact. Okay. Sliding contact. Okay. And this is in this red color, this is our weld. Okay. So in this seam welding process, if we discuss about its working principle, so in this process the two sheets, okay, these two sheets, okay, on which seam welding is required are placed overlapping each other. The current is passed between the two moving electrodes. Okay, so here we use the moving electrodes and the sheets get welded. Okay, it is used for stainless steel, aluminum and its alloy, nickel and its alloy, etc. Okay, so if we discuss about its key point, so the seam welding is done in order to obtain a continuous joint. Okay, so used for getting continuous joint. Okay, and here we use roller type of the electrode. Electrodes are used. Now let's discuss its advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so if we discuss about its advantages, so it's less overlap required of two parts than spot or projection welding. Okay, and here we can get a continuous welding. Okay, gas tight or liquid tight welds can be produced. Okay, so continuous welding, several parallel seams can be produced. In parallel can be produced gas tight TIGHT, gas tight or liquid tight can be produced. Okay, and if we discuss about its disadvantages, so seam welding sets are more costly than spots welding. So these are more costly, and it is difficult to weld thickness greater than 3 mm. Okay, so limited to 3 mm thickness. Okay, and welding can be done only along a straight line. Okay, we can see that in this welding process the welding can be done along a straight line. Okay, so this was our whole procedure of the seam welding. Now we'll discuss about the butt welding, and let's discuss its all important parts. That this is our AC supply. Okay, and the force is applied in this direction. Okay, this is our movable clamp. Okay, and this is our stationary clamp. Stationary clamp, and these two parts which is to be well, this is welded parts. Okay, and this in the green color, this is our weld which we get after the welding process. Okay, so basically in this butt welding the two parts, okay, to be welded together is placed touching each other end to end so as to form a butt joint. A pressure is applied in the axial direction of the job. The jobs are securely clamped, okay, and heavy current is passed through them. The heat is produced to raise the temperature of the material and fusion take place at the point of the contact. Okay, so this is the our butt welding. Now we will discuss some key points of the butt welding process. Okay, so in this welding process we applied pressure. So pressure is necessary. Pressure is necessary. Okay, and the current which I have to discuss in the resistance welding's introduction, that currents vary from 50 ampere and the voltage vary from 2 to 12 volts. Okay, and this method is used for welding pipes, wires and the rods. Used to weld pipes, wires and rods. Okay, now we will discuss about its advantages and the disadvantages. Okay, so it is a fast and cheap process. Okay, preparation of the weld surface is not required. Okay, fast and cheap process. Preparation of weld surface is not required, and many dissimilar metals with different melting temperature can be welded. Dissimilar metals having different temperature can be welded. Okay, and it offers 100% strength factor. This is very important. 100% strength factor. Now discuss about its disadvantages. Okay, so more chances of fire hazards. Okay, metal is lost during welding. Okay, so friends, we have discussed all the types of the resistance welding, and we have understood now that what is the butt welding, seam welding and spot welding and the projection welding. Okay, if you have any query, then please comment in the comment box, and if you still have not subscribed our channel, then please subscribe our channel. Thank you friends.